Welcome to 5 Stripe Weekly. We discuss those two excellent matches over the past week and we preview the Cup final on Wednesday. We discuss that next.
Welcome to the show, 5 Stripe fam. I'm AJ, this is Mark. Before we get into it, become a member of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube or hop over from Facebook and subscribe. Two tasty wins against conference opponents, and it has the 17s feeling confident about the performances. So let's get right into that US Open Cup semifinal match against Orlando City, in which we smacked them up 2-0.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were able to go again undefeated against that team from down under.
This was probably the biggest opportunity for when they're at home. It's a semifinal, and King Joseph does not make the trip. Mysteriously wasn't on the flight. We find out he picks up an injury actually in training. That dreaded adductor keeps biting us.
God, I put a poll out on the social media. Pretty much is an adductor injury worse or Orlando City, and I think still Orlando City won by a landslide.
Yeah. Well, they haven't defeated Atlanta yet, so
yeah. So it's true.
Yeah,
it is true. But so in terms of this match, I mean, it really was their best chance to get a win, and you could feel that from their fans. Also, you could see it on their social media. They were like very up for this. They were like, oh, if there's any time, let's do it today.
And they came out up for it. I mean, they put the ball in the back of the net. Don Dwyer, I think.
Got on the end of a good move from them, a counterattack.
Yeah, it's one of those things where should he have done better to stay on side? I kind of judge strikers on that. I think he definitely should have buried that chance though that he got later on in that half.
Yeah.
And he skies it from kind of the top of the box.
Yeah, and it's I mean the script could have gone completely differently. It would have been an interesting back and forth match, I think, at that point then.
Yeah.
But and it probably would have maybe been a little bit more reminiscent of that first match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium against them as well. Maybe a little bit back and forth,
right,
and who knows? It might have gone to penalties or something like that.
Yeah.
Good God, but thank God it didn't.
No.
And I mean it's just for us, we saw some really great performances from our midfield, who were able to be afforded the time and space. Eric Remedi pretty much was taking shots from wherever he wanted, and that's how he got the first goal. Pretty much is that he took a shot from distance, or not completely from distance, but in the box a little bit further away. It got parried away, and Julian Gressel got on the end of that rebound and got it right back to him at the front post, and he took it like a striker.
Yeah, followed up on the making the near post run. I mean, Remedi getting forward is something we've seen that's new this season. And maybe a little bit of credit to De Boer to kind of, pushing him towards that, getting him more comfortable doing that. And in this match, he looked pretty comfortable on the ball, like you said, he'd had at least a couple shots before his goal.
Right.
And so you need, especially when Joseph is out, you need other people to step up, and I think they did a pretty solid job of marking Barco and P in this one.
And I think that's really why they didn't get on the score sheet, even though they had their chances. But I think ultimately the midfield had to step up here because if the strikers are marked out, then it's the next line up that needs to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, and we were clinical enough. I mean, Eric Remedi. He spread it out for another ball that was our second goal. Franco Escobar got on the end of that one, passed it right to Emerson Heineman, who put it in the back of the net for his very first goal in the States.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic to see. I mean, a guy who has come in kind of just seamlessly melded right into the team, and he gets his first goal. That's fantastic to see.
Yeah, and that goal in general, I think it's one of my favorite goals of the season, really. It's a really nice build-up. It starts with, I think it was kind of a counter on, but PD ends up pulling it out, and they move the ball around to Gressel, to Nagby, finds Remedi, who's wide open, essentially in a vacate middle, and he's able to pick out Escobar. I mean, I think that's what you want to see out of, what we want to see at Atlanta United. We want to see them playing like the system they're comfortable with,
right?
But also
staying patient too.
Exactly, and I think that we're seeing a marriage of the styles between De Boer and the players.
Yeah,
I think they're finding a happy middle ground.
Right, and so this also, I mean, this was an in MLS, but it was an MLS opponent, and so we got an away win.
Yes.
Which is fantastic because we were, I think, on a 6-game losing streak.
The last time we won away from home was like June 18th or something like that in the Open Cup.
Been a while.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, away from home has not been too kind to Atlanta this season.
Exactly, and so what other team could quell our issues other than Orlando City, right? So yes, fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
It's just like you if you need a remedy of any sorts, you just play that team. And,
can we play them again soon? Oh, we do. Awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So if there's any slip-ups, then here we go. We'll feel better about ourselves if that happens.
Right.
But hopefully you don't need that pick-me-up, right?
Right.
But in that negative, I think early on they did have a couple of chances, and you kind of every team that plays or if you play against a team, they're probably going to get some chances, but I think this one. I mean, it had, I think people were very worried, and the offside call was just, thank God. Because that move was really good.
It was a really good move, yeah, for sure. And then Klaschen has that chance really in the second half. So, I mean, they had their chances, but at the end of the day, they only had 2 shots on target, and Atlanta United had 6 blocks.
Yeah.
And to get a clean sheet, again, away from home, I think those are pretty encouraging performance from our back line,
Right. And, Frank de Boer loved the performance as well. He said it was a good performance. He, he knew that they were going to press, and they, were going to try to do everything with the 2 fast guys in, is what he was saying. But, we still managed to do a good job, and I'm still very proud of the team. He said also everybody was involved tonight, played really well and concentrated, and this is what I want to see. I mean, absolutely. I mean, especially in a semifinal. I mean, pretty much we have a ton of cup finals essentially in this entire month, and they played like such in this one at the very least. So, I think we've seen our players step up to a good degree in competitions that it's a must-win, and so that's really what you want to see. Justin Meram also talked about his return to Orlando.
Yeah.
And he also had mentioned if he had scored that he would celebrate 100, I think 1,000,000%.
Right. So something like that.
Yeah. And so, but he was unfortunately not able to score, although he was on this revenge tour, and I really wanted to see him hit the back of the net.
Oh, man.
But he was unfortunately had to walk off early in this match. To kind of a mystery injury. We still don't really know. But he pretty much just kind of did the tour around.
Well, because the new FIFA mandates.
You have to go off the nearest.
Where it's nearest. So he had to walk all the way around. Everyone booed him. But I mean, I thought he was actually pretty good. He was active on the ball. He was good.
He was trying to make things happen.
Yeah, defending as well. And I thought he did make a lot happen, even though he didn't get on the stat sheet particularly. So.
Agreed. Yeah, no, he was definitely making an impact before he was. He had to be pretty much subbed off. But he, I mean, he said that. Let's see, they. He thought that we outran them and we outplayed them, and he said, I'm just happy to be on this side with this group. They helped me, they picked me up, and they knew it was going to be difficult every time I got the ball being booed and in warm-ups, but I showed tonight I can block that out and play my game. And that's massive. I mean, to play with the boos, it is difficult. I mean, it's a distraction. You can probably hear all the jeers and whatever else they're saying, and I mean, you could pick up a lot on the field mics.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. He even posted on his Instagram the following day a slow-mo video of like the wall giving it to him.
Yeah, exactly. They were flicking him off. And it was.
But he, in his post, he was like, I forgot the quote. It was like, give him attention.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to give people that don't deserve it the attention.
Exactly.
And it's well said, and it's a good mindset from Justin Meram, who is quickly endearing himself to Atlanta United fans.
He just, he definitely seems to be a much more positive mindset in Atlanta. He's spoken on that.
Well, he's not getting death threats, and that's massive. And our fans are supporting him, which is also great. But for us, for me and Tanner, who have both received death threats / hate mail, it's from Orlando City fans. I mean, I think we're in the same boat with Justin Meram. It is, we hate them just as much as you. So, anyway, that wraps up a bow on the Orlando City match, and let's move on to the NYCFC match, in which, I mean, another really, really strong performance here. Yeah. We didn't get the clean sheet, but we were creating chances left and right.
Yeah. From minute one.
Yeah, from minute one, high press was on, really made them feel uncomfortable. NYCFC usually play with a lot of possession, and really didn't see that. They were playing lots of long balls.
They were pretty direct overall, yeah.
Yeah, very direct, and lots of balls over the top that are, just our three-man back line who are just, I mean, I take them on a one-on-one over anybody else's back line any day. Because Miles Robinson, probably the strongest in the league at that. And then you have, Franco Escobar, not too shabby with his pace, his recovery.
Just one-on-one in general.
Yeah, and LGP ain't too bad either. Right. And so, that's that was massive for us to be able to push up and be able to just pin them back in their fullbacks back. It was really a sight for sore eyes, I feel like. Yeah. A lot of the fans, I think, lauded this type of performance from the team. It's maybe not the scoreline that we wanted because we weren't as clinical as we maybe should have been, but I mean, it was chance after chance for us that just it harkened to something that was a little bit of yesteryear.
Right, exactly, and especially against a strong opponent, and like you said, opponent that typically likes the ball, to be able to essentially win that midfield battle, and then like create chances. I mean, like it felt like the scoring was going to happen, and just a matter of when. And then, of course, keeping solid the back line. I was a little concerned, like I hope New York doesn't snatch one here, and they didn't. They did at the very end.
Yeah, they pulled one back, and that's where it was a little bit squeaky bum time for sure. Yeah. But let's start at the very beginning, though, where Jose Martinez gets the start inexplicably when he had a grade 2 adductor strain and was pretty much unlikely for the pretty much duration. Yeah. Might have been a red herring, but it's still...
It felt like mind games. I mean, like, De Boer all week was saying he's doubtful but day-to-day, which is like, that could mean anything.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like adductor strains, it could be where you're out as long as a George Bello, or you're, and it's just like, he came back pretty much this week. I mean, I think it was very precautionary, and they didn't play him in Orlando City for that reason, which had, of course, we didn't even talk about how worried a lot of us were with that. I mean, it was just like, I mean, yes, it's Orlando City, but still, it's like, we have not been putting it in the back of the net with really great regularity.
Right.
So it is, I mean, for him to come into this match, I mean, he was massive.
He goes down in the first minute too, and you're like, oh no, don't tell me he rushed back for this match.
Yeah, did he like tweak something? I think because he kind of shanked that shot a little bit, and you just try to, when you shank a shot, you kind of play it off a little bit like, oh, I might have injured something. Like, that's just what you do,
right?
Because it's like, oh, I just got it all wrong. Right, sorry guys. It's like, but clearly wasn't a big deal for the most part, and De Boer even said, like maybe he's still not 100%, but his 95% or 90% is still a nice player. I would say so.
Yeah, the way he got up for that first goal.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I don't think there's too many problems, in that adductor if you can rise up like a salmon and sting like a bee like that. Oh my God! Like that defender is much taller than he is, and we all know this. He can win a header with the best of them, but I mean, even against a guy that much taller, he, this is just a great header. Like world class type of header. I mean, it's just the pace to be able to beat, Sean Johnson from that type of distance as well. A little bit.
Yeah, the way he located the header. And, I mean, the way he ran onto it in general. Like you said, it was the defender standing there. And he just out-jumps him, really.
Yeah, and a pretty good ball from Julian Gressel as well. And
Gressel himself called it overhit a little bit, maybe, but I thought it was pretty good.
I think he's maybe not giving himself enough credit a little bit here, but I mean, fantastic stuff from there. I mean, and PT Martinez, I think he probably should have won a couple penalties in this match. He won one, which was that ball over the top, and rightfully so. There, he was pleading with Jose Martinez to take this penalty.
It was adorable, actually, because Jose
like, just let me take one. Just let me take one.
So I was like, nah.
No, because exactly. like, I get it. Like, I mean, PT has missed one this year. Jose Martinez has missed one in pretty much his 3 years, more or less.
But
here.
And also, he's the regular penalty taker. It's only 1-0 at that point. It's still a game at that point. So.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't at that point put on, I would say, our third best penalty taker. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 2-0, then sure, absolutely let PT have one, pad those stats a little bit.
Yeah.
Great. But I think it's too much still that, you know, the game is still on the line. You absolutely need that goal to be able to get that breathing room a little bit, that cushion.
Yeah.
So, I think Joseph taking it was the right call, and he's a guy that, I mean, you know.
Shout out to Petey, though, for on that penalty, with winning that penalty, the physicality he showed on that defender, you know, and then, like, getting on the ball, you know, putting the moves on. But I think, like, in the high press, you see Petey's total game, because you see that he is willing to press. You see he's willing to be physical. I think he actually picked up another yellow card in this match.
He did. So, he's quickly getting into Franco Escobar territory, if it were.
He's still a ways off.
Yeah, he's still a ways off. Thank God. But LGP is in that territory, and he also got another yellow, which is kind of the frustrating thing about I guess both.
It was actually, it was a decent yellow, because it was when he might have been beaten, the ball at the top.
It's a professional foul, but still, it's one of those.
It's LGP again. So.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, anyway, the second one that he should have won. I mean,
oh my gosh,
Maxime Chanot, what the hell? Like, you are a very lucky boy. I am pissed. I mean, because it's
clear cut. It's clear cut. I mean, like MLS does this instant replay every week where they go over blown calls, and that was one of them. And it's like, why didn't VAR go back? They had an opportunity to.
Yeah, Jair Marufo and the VAR didn't have the cojones to make this call. I think it would have put the game away, and I think that's probably why it would have been 3-0, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
And so instead, they get one from Hebert, and I think this worries me a little bit. Guzan has conceded maybe a few from this type of distance, kind of on the ground, but kind of really, again, from a longer distance, he kind of struggles slightly, I think. But, you know, from the ones close up, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because I feel like with the ones close up especially, he almost dives early, but he anticipates well.
Right.
And I think once from distance, maybe it's one of those where it's, you got to shuffle over, or you just
maybe
have to
shielded.
Maybe he's not able to just cover that distance anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it does seem.
It was a well taken shot. It was kind of I wouldn't say lucky, but it was a good layoff that was super quick.
Yeah.
And
the NYC move overall was a pretty solid move from NYC.
Yeah. And so it's annoying to see, because also, I mean, it would have pushed Brad Guzan's clean sheet, league leading clean sheet record, not record, but I guess stat to 12. So, that would have been good to see, and also is good for the confidence, especially going into a Campeones Cup. So, it is a possibility that he might start, and you want to see your keeper in high spirits in that sense. But either way, I mean, getting into more positives, I think, Miram provided lots of width and interplay on that left side, which was, again, I mean, it's I think Devin pointed out to that effect, where we are just able to kind of swap and change wing backs, and just able to really make them pretty competent. I think this team has been a team that wants to play in this type of fashion, high press, able to possess it through that as well when we do have the ball, and just create a ton of chances. That wing back play is so important in this system as well. Yeah. And so Gressel was able to play so many early crosses that's just like almost spot on nearly all the time, where Jose Martinez, I mean, on a different day, might have put in even more. So
I mean, it shows that you can play on the front foot out of this system, you know what I mean? And especially utilizing the wingbacks. Right. And it's something we've seen it with other teams as well, across Europe and, World Cup teams. So, I mean, I think, Atlanta, it makes perfect sense for Atlanta United to do that. And putting Miram at left wingback, though, has been a stroke of genius, really.
Yeah, it really has been. Because, he's had the creativity, and he's got the work rate going back, so it's fantastic. Yeah. And also, Julian Gressel noted after the match that, there's been a lot less kind of defensive coaching lately, and that's I think really not only a testament to the system being adapted to by Frank de Boer, but also that he's realizing, they are, when they're on the front foot, they're playing their best ball. We're looking really good. Yes, the scoreline maybe didn't reflect this kind of dominance that we really had in the game, but I think all in all, if we play like this more often than not, we will get the results that we deserve. So, into some of the negatives, I think, NYCFC did rotate their side a little bit. It wasn't their strongest side, so they had just played on Thursday.
Right.
Was this a team that we actually beat that was at their best?
This seems to be a theme, though, right? That teams like rotate just coming to the bench because
they almost have to. Yeah.
No Rooney, no Zlatan this season, and now NYC as well.
But we have to beat what's in front of us,
right?
And
NYC though, I think is one of those teams that's still pretty good even when they rotate. So I don't think it's necessarily the same situation.
Right. Although their manager or their head coach, Dome Torrent, did mention that they played scared a little bit. They usually play, with possession. They're usually a little shorter passes. They're trying to, move the ball together and link it up towards and forward. But they played it long a lot, and he had a problem with that. He was like, "You're never gonna win if you pretty much play like this." And I think it's a fair point, but I think it's because. And he noted that fast pace of this game,
right?
Because we were pressing so quickly and with, and so high. And I think it was because Joseph, Barco, and PTU were on the same page, and they were.
This is the point I've made before, though. You know what I mean? Like when Atlanta United plays with a fear factor, and how teams play them, it's very different. You know, and so because even early on in the season, the home form wasn't great. There was like a couple of draws, a loss in there. You know, but now like teams are scared to play Atlanta again.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's now we figured out how to defeat a low block as well. You don't see the problems from early 2018 rearing its head, and so that's fantastic. I think also another negative is kind of two guys in the same line were changed at the same time with Larry and Hyndman, and you maybe saw a little bit of like disjointedness, in which resulted maybe in NYCFC's goal.
Right.
And also Larry, I don't think directly he was at fault for this, but it is, he kind of is maybe miscast in a 3-5-2 because in a 3-5-2 the midfielders are central midfielders versus defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
So it is a very different, I think, type of thing where he has to be able to create versus he mostly is a guy who will sit back, he'll hold his position, and he'll kind of spread it out that way. So it's maybe not suited best for him, and maybe it was like kind of that whole line change where maybe we kind of had some miscommunication. But getting into the post-match quotes, you saw that Frank de Boer pretty much mentioned that he thought that this was PT's best match. Which
I think a lot of us did,
in which PT kind of very quickly said, I don't know if this was my best game because I didn't score, but I don't think it's about that for him again. I think it's about him having not only the creativity but that work rate, which was on display here, and creating chances for our forwards, and that's what he was doing. I mean, he created that penalty that Joseph took. That's what you want to see, and arguably could have created even more chances if the referees had balls.
Right, exactly. No, I mean, like he's gotten chances in prior matches. I don't remember too many chances like that shots he took himself, but he definitely created them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like when you have Barco and Joseph, and Miro.
Well, his shots were actually more on target this match as well. Like I believe had a couple shots and they were on goal, and that's fantastic because yes, the other shots have been a little bit wayward in past games.
Sure. So. But I mean, like I agree with you though. At the end of the day, like whether he gets on the score sheet, I mean, like. don't get me wrong. Like, I will never.
He should. I mean,
yeah,
he's a forward at the end of the day.
Right, and
judged by that.
Yeah, exactly, and the confidence that he derives from that, obviously, which is why he mentioned not scoring. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think he's been fantastic for these past couple months now, maybe 6 weeks. So it's great to see him hitting this form as we get to the business end of the season.
Agreed. Because I think we have 9 matches left in the season. So
in the regular season, and then there's the Open Cup final, Campeones Cup playoffs.
Exactly, lots of stuff still to play for. But Frank de Boer also talked about Joseph's impact in this match, and I think matches in general. He said he brings some kind of energy. I think he demands from other players that they have to give their best of themselves. He pushes them to the limit. I think that is amazing to see. He pushes himself to the limits to scoring goals and is always eager to be there in front of goal. He also expects that from his teammates. Sometimes he's angry about it when things aren't going his way, but he keeps everybody awake. I mean, that's a captain talk a little bit.
Yeah, really. I mean, like, it's a type of leadership, you know? And it's like, so when you see Joseph yelling at players, like, I think if you're a teammate, you can't take it personally because, he's holding himself to that.
Exactly, and he absolutely does. I mean, he wants them to feed him because he's hungry to score goals. And, yes, he scored 2 of them, but he was still upset at all the other ones.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of it is, like, he is just so good, and that's even an understatement, but he's expecting and bringing the level of his teammates to that level as well. And I'm going to go into a kind of a weird metaphor maybe a little bit in that like a Kobe Bryant, maybe not kind of known for his ability to bring out the best of others in that sense, but Joseph's ability and his selfishness even in his play is really bringing out the best of the others for sure, I think. So, he, I think, has this ability kind of like Michael Jordan in a sense. Yeah. Versus Kobe Bryant. Anyway. Yeah.
Although, I don't know.
Weird metaphor. You don't have to dig into that too far. Just be kind to me in the comments. I just thought of it and I'm like, this might work. Anyway, Guzan talked about Joseph's prolific ability after the match. He was quoted as saying, "What record doesn't he have now? Jeez." Yeah. I mean, really hilarious. You want to read his other one?
Sure. Yeah. He's huge. We're probably a bit spoiled. I said that. The ball goes in the box and you just expect him to pop up and score from whatever angle, however difficult the pass is or the ball is. His first goal was world class. His ability, that separation in the box, and then to get the power behind the header to beat Sean Johnson, that is a fantastic finish, and we all know what he does from the penalty spot. Fair play to Joe. I always say he's huge for our team, and he showed it once again tonight. Yeah. And I mean, it's, when your teammates are in awe of you, the guys who actually see you in training, every match, and they're still just amazed by your passion, your energy, and ability. I mean, it just says it all.
Speaks volumes indeed. So wrapping up a bow on this match, it is a very solid win. Bummed that we didn't get the clean sheet, but either way. It puts kind of that, it's a little bit of a 6-pointer in that sense where we were able to push down NYCFC with their games in hand just a little bit further down.
Now there's a 4-point gap between Atlanta United and NYCFC, and they only have 2 matches in hand, so.
Yeah, exactly. And so moving into those standings, into the news, where, we are in second place. It is... I mean, Philadelphia Union still...
They just keep winning.
Yeah, they're very steady. And
I will say, though, because they played Dynamo at home, and the couple goals that they scored were crap. But it's, however you get them.
Yeah, they're spreading the goals around, which is, I guess, good for them as well. I guess ours is a little bit more centric to Jose Martinez. Right. But still, I mean, I think, the way we do it, I mean, if he's on the pitch, why wouldn't you? He can put it away with his right foot, his left foot, his head.
Tata alluded to this last season, so it's not that we're a one-man team. They just feed Joseph.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the other guys can score, clearly, but it's just a matter of, you feed the guy who's the most clinical, and there it is. Yeah. There were times earlier this season where Joseph Martinez was a little passive, and he was, maybe had a sight on goal, and he kind of let it go. And it really didn't work out maybe sometimes. So exactly. I think we want to see.
I think selfish Joseph is the best Joseph.
I think so. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. But moving on from the standings, Joseph Martinez has 2 more MLS records in tow from that match, and that is consecutive matches scored with 10.
Yes.
And yeah, total. I mean, in 3 seasons.
Most goals in first 3 seasons, 70 goals. Now get this. That's actually 70 goals in 76 matches.
Yeah.
76 matches is more like 2 seasons and change because he missed a bunch of games in the first season. We're only halfway through this third season.
Right.
Like,
and he missed a month being away on international duty as well.
Right.
I mean, it's just, and Carlos Vela was not. So, I mean, what we're saying here is that, I mean, he's pretty much at just under, I believe it was 0.99 goals per game.
Right.
Which is an outrageous number.
Yeah.
And kind of unprecedented in MLS. Fantastic. Really good stuff. So, because of that, Jose Martinez and Julian Gressel have made the MLS Team of the Week. Although Julian Gressel was only on the bench and Miles Robinson is nowhere to be seen.
What's this man got to do to get his due, man?
Yeah, he gets into. I think he's gotten into 1. I think at least this season. But I mean, he won the man of the match at least in the game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in terms of he got the golden spike, and so I mean. What does he have to do, really?
Right.
But he is pretty much man of the match almost nearly every single time.
Right.
And also, Jose Martinez also won the MLS Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. Fantastic as
4th
well.
overall for Atlanta United. Barco won 2 early on in the season.
Right, and that's on the heels of him getting the MLS Player of the Month last month. And just, he's on a just
torrid
stretch. Yeah, really. Took the words right out of my mouth. But, and so also moving on from that, Ezequiel Barco makes number 57 in La Gazzetta dello Sport. It's an Italian publication, and that's of the best 60 U20 players in the world. And he's the only MLS player to be on that list.
It kind of goes to show you the profile of Barco. I mean, if and probably when he leaves, I mean, it's that's going to be an interesting time.
It will be, but I mean, he absolutely is just. He's not. Last season didn't get his due a little bit. He was a little bit underperforming, but this season, I mean, he missed a good bit of time, but I think every single time he's been on the pitch, he's come like a man on fire.
Yeah.
And so anyway, going and moving on to another very, let's say youngster, Andrew Carlton. He spoke to Pro Soccer USA and Mitchell Northam in this article saying, I think this year has been a big growing year for me, just learning how to be an adult instead of a young kid. He said also, quote, it's been an interesting season. I had a couple of slip-ups, if you want to call them that. It's something that you learn from. As a young player, you try to get the most out of those things and learn from it. I'm just trying to work hard and get back to a place where I'm fighting for minutes with the first team. And I think, he's been doing that.
I mean, he got minutes against Orlando in that semifinal.
He did.
Played pretty much just the second half. And it's good to see him that he's working his way back. He seems he's saying the right things. He seems to be showing the right attitude.
Right.
So, I mean, it's when he was kind of suspended from the first team, we all had concerns.
We got demoted to Liga 2 and whatnot,
I think it's all part of a larger plan, though.
Right, exactly. And so, some of the 17s might have been a little bit down on him, but I think, you just, with these players, like, these guys are teenagers, slash just, guys who are still maturing into themselves and, who didn't do stupid crap when they were young. So, it's... Hopefully he's learning from it, and it seems like he is, so good things. But, Joseph Martinez, moving on. Joseph Martinez on his Snapchat and on his IG story, you are an absolute legend, just cackling at Orlando City. It's just hilarious. And then, I still haven't worked this out. I don't know if it's a chicken wing or if it's an artichoke. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been.
He's snacking on something.
Even I don't know.
But he pulled it out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's what.
You just don't really.
I was there fruits.
Maybe. Could be.
I was actually wondering about that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. There's indoor hammocks in here as well. I mean, I don't think he's at home because I think see his IG story quite often. He's not in his living room. It's somewhere else. Where I want some indoor hammocks, man. That looks comfy as hell.
Yeah.
So let's do that, please, somewhere, somehow. But and also moving on to another Joseph Martinez gem. The impact that this game can have on people. I mean, this photo with this young lady who is just awestruck. She's got the tats on her fingers, on her neck. And basically he wrote, like, she made my day one of the best day in my life. I mean, that's a little bit broken English from Joseph Martinez, but still, either way, it is just beautiful to see that, people making impact on each other. I mean, I think Joseph Martinez realizes the impact that he has had on her life, probably, and it made his day, for one. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's like, not only just showing, how good of a person he is as well.
No, yeah, I mean, like, especially when you see the impact he has on kids. Like, I remember the kid last year.
Yeah.
He, again, broke down in tears when he met Jose. It's so sweet.
It is.
That's like the best part of sports, honestly.
It really is, yeah. And so, but moving on from that, the prank wars continue between Jonathan Nagbe and Michael Parkhurst. First, it was Jonathan Nagbe and Brad Guzan stealing one of Michael Parkhurst's shoes on the plane, and so he would have to only walk with one shoe in the airport, which is pretty grody, but that's a pretty good prank, I think. Somehow Parky has gotten Nagbe's luggage onto the middle of the the carousel.
And he has to climb up and get it. Oh my god! Like seeing this at Atlanta Airport or whatever.
Yeah, oh they thankfully stopped it on his way down the carousel. But there were some people that were like, "Oh my god, if he got injured there, that would have been horrific." But I think it's just chill. It's okay. But the prank wars, hopefully they continue because they're, I think, hilarious. Yeah. But moving on to Atlanta United 2 this week, they unfortunately lost 5-1 against Louisville City, and that was Sunday. But Jackson Conway got his fourth goal of the season, so he's also scored in 2 consecutive matches. And George Bello also started this match, so it's good to get him some of that match fitness, which is fantastic because while Justin Meir has played fantastic, I mean, we just need that depth.
Yeah. As we saw when Greg Garza came back at the end of last season, what an impact that made. Imagine Bello had a similar impact.
Exactly, and that'd be massive. So, that gets us to our buy or sell segment, and simply we put up a topic and we say if we buy or sell it. So, first topic is, Carlos Vela or Joseph Martinez can break the single-season goal-scoring record this year. Buy or sell?
I'm going to sell it. I think that the figure of 31 goals in regular season stands because Vela right now is on 23. He has 10 matches left. But I think that he also has 15 assists, and Diego Rossi, his teammate, is top 5 in goals as well. I think he's more of a overall talisman, not necessarily a pure goal scorer. So I think he won't keep up that goal scoring record. And then as for Joseph, he has 9 matches left. He's on 20 right now. I don't think he'll get to 11 or 12 goals in the next 9 matches. Yeah. So I think that he falls just short. I think actually both of them are going to finish at 30 and 29 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's just short. Wow. I don't buy that Carlos Vela can break that record as well for the very similar reasons as you said, as well as I think no one is as prolific as Joseph Martinez in my opinion, and don't check me in a month. But I think Joseph Martinez though can. I buy that he can.
Oh, okay.
I buy that he can because I to put anything past Joseph Martinez at this point is foolhardy. Yeah. So I buy that he can, but but can both of them? No. So next buy or sell item is Joseph Martinez is the greatest of all time striker in MLS history.
I gotta buy it, man. And Charlie Davis and Kalen Carr talked about this, and they, two MLSers, they believe that Joseph is, they played with some of those greats like Sterling John and Taylor Twellman and so on. But Joseph's record is ridiculous. We talked about it. 70 goals in 76 matches. He's far and away the most goals in the first 3 matches. He's probably going to get...
Or first 3 years, yeah.
First 3 years. He's probably going to get to 100 in a record pace. He's about halfway to the all-time MLS record, which is 151.
Yeah, 151 with Chris Wondolowski. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, already halfway. I mean, if he stays in MLS his entire career, then yes, very well it could be. So I buy that he is the GOAT right now. He doesn't have the stats of the ultimate history right now, but yes, he is definitely the greatest of all time right now. Kind of that living legend, if you will.
Just what we've seen. So, you know what I mean? So
in
far,
only 3 short years. It's insane.
Insane. Exactly.
So, I mean, he's breaking records left and right. It's a matter of which records hasn't he broken at this point now. So, anyway, that wraps it up for the news segment and buy or sell, and that gets us to our mailbag. And you guys send in these questions through IG story. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your question in the future. First question comes from Danny Phantom. Do y'all think that Atlanta United will ever get their own soccer-specific stadium, or always share it with the Falcons? This question. You go for it.
No, I mean, for the foreseeable future, I think we share a stadium because... it's just a matter of real estate, and Mercedes-Benz is honestly a pretty fantastic place to play. There's no reason for Atlanta United to go anywhere else. And I think also the location, I think, is important here too, because people from all over Atlanta come to these games, even from the suburbs. And so, I think a central location makes the most sense for your fan base in this case. And so I just don't think there's a reason to move.
Right, exactly. And, a soccer-specific stadium would be kind of a downgrade in terms of the number of seats that it would be allocated. And so unless you can really get some sort of 50,000 person stadium by yourself, but it's probably they just spent, I think, $1.2 billion on this. Nothing's happening for a long time.
Right.
At least 20 years if most things go well.
Yeah.
But, I think we will be there for the foreseeable future, and I think it's a great home. I mean, also air-conditioned, especially in Atlanta.
Oh, gosh.
You can't ask for more at this moment. So, turf or whatever, blah, 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 grass, whatever, man. Next question comes from Panhead Aaron. I believe Joseph can catch up and pass Vela in the Golden Boot race, but what about MVP? Interesting.
Yeah, I think Vela might have it on MVP because of those assists, like I mentioned. He has double-digit assists. I mean, Vela's been ridiculous this year.
Yeah, he has been. He's, in terms of the kind of goal creation, in terms of total goals, it's a really large number for him. And, the fact that LAFC are kind of running away is worth a little bit as well. Even though, we can chip away and get a little closer, but still, either way, I mean, he's been doing it for the duration. So, yeah, it is true. I don't think Joseph Martinez can win MVP this season. And it's difficult to, I think, win back-to-back in MLS.
That too,
yeah. So, next question. Liv Moss asks, what's your standpoint on what happened in the supporters section yesterday? If you don't have context, you can watch Mark's fan cam from yesterday as well. We're filming this on a Monday just for transparency. And so there were some, larger things at play. We won't get into it too hard, but what are your thoughts, man?
No, yeah, I mean, just
to reiterate, really.
Yeah. To summarize my interview, I kind of disagreed with Atlanta United's the staff's actions on this, and especially with the signs that were confiscated. Of course, the news report has come out now about further action being taken against those fans. So we have to wait to see what comes of that. And
right. Dirty South Soccer reported that there were some bans from the stadium, maybe 3-match bans for some people of a supporters group, and so it is not something you want to see, but it is something that is kind of a hot topic for one.
It's a little complex.
It's a little complex, and it's difficult to get all the way into in this podcast. But I think it is all in all. If you our thoughts in terms of our own in terms of in this regard, they don't reflect the channel nor the podcast, I think, and so. what his thoughts are and what my thoughts are. It's just basically, yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's to a degree where if, you are pretty much for suppressing one group of people or any group of people, it's just, yeah, that's got to go. That can't happen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But, if you'd like us to go more in depth about it, let us know. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know if you want a video of that or something like that, and we'll try to entertain that idea and make something specific for that. But anyway, moving on. Joshua Rutledge asks, should we stick with the high press?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that also we'll never be like the out-and-out pressing team that like Red Bulls are, for example. But I think that we need to press. We need to try to win the ball in the opponent's half because we're just more comfortable playing in the opponent's half.
Yeah, and it is definitely like in 2017 we're pressing a lot higher. And
aggressively.
Yeah, aggressively. But in 2018 we kind of went away from that a little bit. But I think this kind of is a meld of it a little bit, and we were able to be still pretty decently stout defensively while still pressing up high, and also pretty good possession, I think, as well, from that standpoint. And so yes, absolutely we should. From match to match it is going to be difficult because it does take high energy levels.
I think also, you gauge by the opponent, how much they want the ball, all of that.
Right, exactly. And so if they're a team that doesn't really, they're not really good on the ball, then you take some chances and you try to win it.
Right.
But anyway, next question is from Terminus United 83. If we sell Barco this summer, would Ozil or Mesut Ozil of Arsenal be a good pickup since he wants to be in MLS?
Well, wait, I guess this summer is in this past summer?
I think he's saying, well, I mean, the transfer window closed.
Right, so it's not really possible, but I mean, let's say it happens in the winter. Yeah. Maybe, like Ozil, we'll have to see how he's fitting it at Arsenal.
Sure.
But I mean, like, I do think Barco's likely to be gone by next summer, and so Atlanta United needs to come up with their next
I think there's no chance that Mesut Ozil comes to Atlanta United. It's just one of those things where his wages are exorbitantly high. Yes, there's that DC United link, but I mean there is the whisper of because he owns a coffee shop that is opening up one in Audi Field, and then if he did, he would take a massive pay cut. If it were, it's not our MO. We don't really need probably his type of player as well. PT Martinez is fairly similar to Mesut Ozil as well. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't see it happening whatsoever. So anyway, that's our mailbag, and that gets us to our match preview, and it's against Club America. It's in the Campeones Cup. It's Wednesday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 8 p.m. It's also on ESPN2 if you're not going to the match. But yeah, I mean, so far, Club America have been pretty outstanding to start their season. They beat Tigres. They've
beat Monterrey.
Yeah, I mean, and Tijuana. I mean, it's some of the big boys they've already beaten. They're gonna be very tough.
No, I mean, Club America is a big boy themselves. They play in Mexico City. They play in Azteca, the largest stadium in Mexico. I mean, they're big time. They had Miguel Herrera is their manager. Once time coach Mexico. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, like we should expect a toe for toe.
And they just got stronger as well. Giovanni Dos Santos also joined them, and Mimo Ochoa also just joined them. I don't know if Mimo Ochoa is going to be playing for them on Wednesday. Probably a little too early, probably. But either way, I mean, they have just been tearing it up at least the early part of their season. So, it's I mean, I think we would have wanted them to maybe be like stumbling out of the blocks a little bit before we're playing them.
Right.
But we also don't know how much of a rotated side they're going to play.
Yeah.
And, how seriously they're going to be taking this as well. But I think, it's so early on in their season after having been in pretty good form. I think can go for it.
Yeah, really. I mean, like that's what I forget who the matchup was last season. I think Tigres, but and they took it seriously.
Yeah,
so
against Toronto,
yeah,
it's true. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough test either way. Darren Eales talked about how, it's genuinely the best of Liga MX against the best of MLS. So it is real and meaningful in that sense. It's like the good old days of the European Cup when it used to be you had to win your league to get in it. The only way to get in Campeones Cup is you've got to have won your championship. And yeah, he's a savvy businessman. He's kind of building up this competition. And I mean, I agree to a sense. Yes, we I think deserve to be here to be playing and have the right to play against this type of team. It's only the second year, so I mean, yes, history is still being made on what type of competition this actually is.
Right.
But I mean, it's got some good implications at least because it's the champion versus champion in North America.
Yeah, it's lacking a little bit of history and prestige to this point, but I think at Liga MX and MLS are clearly trying to build a partnership, and so I think like this, the Campeones Cup, the League Cup, I think there are steps in the right direction, and I think that in a few years, they will have the meaning.
Yeah, agreed. And I think Jose Martinez has the right mindset on this as well. Yeah. He said, we have to win any game on any afternoon. Obviously, we know it's a nice game against the Mexican champions, and we have to try to win. We're at home, and we want as many trophies as possible because the day I retire, I want people to say Martinez was a winner, not a loser. So we have to win. I mean,
I love him. He's such a leader. That's a leadership type of quote.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I think at the end of the day, he wants just as many stars, as many trophies, as many just awards next to his name, next to Atlanta United. And I think that's, we're better off for that. And so I think we should adopt that type of mindset. It's very, very good to
hear. Good on you,
Joseph,
I think. Yeah.
But, and so, yeah, we've talked about their form in terms of they've won 3 and drawn 1 in their last 4. We've won 4 in our last 6 and lost 2. And, yeah, I mean, in terms of their players to watch, again, it's going to be difficult maybe to guess who's going to be playing, but at least their past couple of matches, you've seen the likes of Jimenez in between the 6. Giovanni Dos Santos started their last match in the 10 position for them. Mm-hmm. They generally play a 4-2-3-1 of sorts. Renato on the wing. You've got Ibargüen on the left. It's kind of been rotated a little bit in terms of their strikers, and but their back line seems pretty kind of solidified in terms of who they're going to play. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think, we hope it's a rotated side, maybe, and that's the best thing that we can hope for.
Yeah, I think no matter what, it's a tough match, though, even with the rotated side. I mean, because especially with Liga MX teams who are able to invest more, I think that whatever team they put out there will be a match for Atlanta for sure. Yeah,
agreed. But and so getting into some of the match facts, Atlanta United have scored they have scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 matches in MLS. So that bodes well in that sense. But there have also been over 2.5 goals scored in 9 of Atlanta United's last 10 games. And so maybe that says that there will be goals scored in general, either by us or by them. And so it is, I think, paramount that for us, in getting into the keys of the game, that, how will we cope with really just a strong Club America side? And that's massive. We have to make sure, we can create our chances against probably a pretty strong defense. We need to be able to finish. And so it depends on how rotated we are as well. And I mean, yes, we lose a little if Jose Martinez is not in the squad. But we have to stay strong in the back.
Yeah,
super important. And let's take advantage of this home field, that we have. That we have the power of it's going to be around like 42, 44,000 in this match. But
I mean, listen, the last Liga Meki team we played at home, we beat them. We beat Monterrey 1-0. So
that's true.
Hopefully, we can get the same kind of energy and performance from the team again, because I mean they played well against Monterrey in that game.
Yeah.
So they could have had more early on. So the team's obviously in better form. I think certain players as well, most key, are in good form.
Good form, a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building chemistry, and so I think this will be a good match to find out where all of that really is.
Agreed. And so getting into some of the injuries and unavailable players for Club America. Out is Nicolas Castillo, one of their forwards. He has had knee surgery. Questionable is Emmanuel Aguilera. He's a defender. Muscular injury for him. And so, I mean, they definitely could. Start a very, very strong lineup still, even with those couple of injuries. Right. For us, Mikey Ambrose is still a little bit out with his left hamstring. Brack Shea, of course, with his ACL. Brandon Vasquez with that left hip injury. And so, I mean, in terms of being able to rotate for this, it still might be, still might be Joseph Martinez, or it could be somebody else, but we'll see. That gets us to our predicted 11.
Yeah. So we'll go through the lines.
Yeah, let's go through the lines. For you,
Guzan at keeper, of course.
Yeah. You wouldn't put Can in between there at all, or?
No. I think we're taking this somewhat seriously. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, there is enough. Like the leagues are pushing this. You know what I mean? And so I think that it would do the audience and the league a disservice if we didn't try to play a strong team at least. And so, I think that, Khan, I like Khan obviously, but I think you could roll with Guzan.
Yeah. And I think it's a 3-5-2 for both of us.
Right, yeah.
In this match. Yeah. And, so for you, who's in your three-man back line?
So my back line, I have Escobar, Robinson. I think Pogba comes in for LGP. I have some slight rotation. LGP, I think, is one of them I would rest. Pogba has been very solid, so I don't think you lose too much in a match. So, yeah.
Okay. I've got LGP on the right, Robinson in the middle, and Pogba as well on the left, because that moves, I think, Franco Escobar to right wing back, giving Gressel a little bit of a spell in this, because I think Escobar has proven that he can play right wing back with very good efficiency, as well as with that utility that he has. I mean, it's just beautiful. He was pretty much making those bombing runs in that NYCFC match to begin with. Yeah. Maybe unrewarded on some of those runs, but still, he was. I mean, he can put a good ball in. And he is not afraid to get forward or get in the box. And he's scored, from the right wing position, or right wing back position.
Yeah, he has.
Some frequency when he's been played there. For you, who's your right wing back?
So I have Gressel. I don't have him resting. So I have Gressel right wing back, and then Pereira left wing back.
Pereira left wing back. I as well. I think this is a match you kind of need a little bit of rotation for Miram, who has played, I think, the last 3, not full matches, but still. I mean, he's played and started the last 3. So I mean, you don't want to run him into the ground at this moment. Although, if you are maybe lacking a little bit of end product, then maybe you can bring him on and get something there. I think in midfield, we have something a little bit different.
Yes. So we have both Lorenowitz and midfield in place of Rometti. Yeah. And I have Hyman in there because I think he's a more natural replacement for Nagby. So I do think those guys get rested, and I think that those are probably the 2 replacements that makes the most sense.
Yeah. I have Lorenowitz and Mo Adams, very defensive. I think it's kind of to counteract how strong Club America is going to come out. Yeah. And yes, the 2 of them are playing as central midfielders, as mostly defensive midfielders, but I still think that we have to kind of eschew a few things in this match and kind of hit him on the counter as much as possible here. And so it gets us to our kind of forwards as well, or who's in our midfield. So who do you have?
So up top I have PD and Barco on the left, or the right and the left, and then I have Tito starting at striker. Yeah. So I think that we actually do rest Joseph for this one, because that adductor injury, kind of cut it close. I think Joseph made it out of the match unscathed, but I don't think there's a reason to push him with a tough stretch coming up.
Yeah, no, it is. I see what you're saying too, and I think your formation might be a 3-4-3 at that point then, because you have them on the wings in terms of PT and Barco. Maybe.
A little bit. I mean, I think they interchange.
So,
I don't know if there's too much shape necessarily as much as
Sure.
They're attacking.
Yeah, and for me, I think Hyman returns to that 10 position as per last week against Orlando City, and I have Carlton and Tito up top. Yes, this is a fair amount of rotation, but still, I think it's guys that have played recently, at least this past week, and so they're able to, I think, maybe give us a 45. And if we need something going forward, we can bring on our big boys that have been playing with regularity, and we can maybe build something from there if we need to. I think the main point is to just stay strong for 45. Try to create going forward, and really try to, I think, unsettle Club America, who again, I mean, yes, they've been playing. These really top sides and getting good results, but I think still it's an environment maybe that we can kind of just not only unsettle them, but make sure that they play right into our hands.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, we've been so strong at home,
Yeah, hopefully we can continue that, and I think that's by being strong defensively and still pressing forward, and I think we have the players to do that.
Yeah.
But that gets us to our score prediction. And what do you got, man?
So I think this is a wild one, but I think that Club America nick it at the end. So I have us going down 3-2. I know it's sacrilege, but they're just such a strong team, and I do think they will rotate a fair bit. So it's just a matter of who takes part, when do they come in. Like, for example, I expect Jose to take part, but then can he have enough of impact to take Atlanta over the top?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be tough. So got us just losing this one.
Okay, but I mean, I think for me it's 1-1 in in regular time, and then it goes to extra time, and then we get the penalties.
Does it go to extra time with penalties or straight to penalties?
I think it might go to straight to penalties.
I think it might go straight.
It might go straight to. If it does, hopefully it does.
Yeah.
I haven't checked on that, but let us know if you know in the comments below. But I think we win in penalties 4-3. Kind of to excise some demons from the 2017 season a little bit, and we will win the Campeones Cup. So hopefully that is the case, and we get another trophy in our cabinet. But that gets us to our question of the day.
Will you be going to or watching the Campeones Cup on Wednesday? Let us know. Tweet at us. Get in the comments. Does it mean a lot to you? Is this a trophy that you value, or is it still a bit of an exhibition match for you? Yeah. So, guys, that's it for us today. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash that like button and share this video because it really does help us a lot. And for Mark, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.